Washington Post Live. Time to make Lockham Forest some money and bring in Brandon Lang, who picks the games for us each week. Of course, with the Redskins, well, and a lot of games, you just have no idea who's going to be playing. We've discussed this earlier in the show, and the Redskins are given a ton of points. Brandon, what do you think's going to happen here? Brandon, we got some crazy lines this week because nobody knows who's playing who. But let's start with the game everybody's talking about in D.C., and that's Redskins and Cowboys, and the Skins are giving up big points.
I'm going to tell you something. This line opened up -3, and now it's all the way up to -9. And I know Dallas is resting some players here, but they're not going to make it easy for the Washington Redskins. I do like Washington to win this football game, but asking them to cover a 9 number in a rivalry game, I think that's a bit too much. The entire world, the entire betting public is betting Washington as if they know the final score, and it's always been my lesson learned that if that's the case, try to get opposite of that, because we all know Vegas was not built in a day. I'm going to grab Dallas plus the 9.
All right, Jacksonville's got nothing to play for. They're playing the Houston Texans, who actually can come out of this season with something at least of a little bit of relevance. What do you see happening there?
Yeah, they got caught with their pants down at Indianapolis last week, and Peyton Manning carved them up, and that was off the big home win on Thursday night on the NFL Network over Denver. That's the kind of effort I expect from them here. As you said, Jacksonville, nothing to play for, resting their starters. Houston, a chance to get to 8-8 and build off of that. I think that's a tremendous statement for them at home, minus this number. I think Houston gets it done and gets it done big.
All right, bizarre team of the week. It's got to be the Cleveland Browns. It doesn't matter what they do, yet they got to go out there and play. What do you think they do?
Well, they got to show up. I mean, Derek Anderson is going to have to redeem himself. The 4 interceptions last week at Cincinnati, he took the weight of the world upon his shoulders and played one of his worst games of the year since the Arizona game, where he turned it over 4 times as well. I think Cleveland's in a great spot here against a San Francisco team that has scored more than 20 points just one time all year. I've said when a West Coast team comes east, it's very hard. Last game of the season for this San Francisco football team, Cleveland minus the points makes a statement and wins big.
All right, the only game that means anything in the AFC only deals with one of the teams on the field. That's Tennessee. They take on Indianapolis. We're pretty sure that the Colts won't be playing their starters for much of the game, if any at all. But you still have the Colts taking this with the points.
Well, plus 6.5. That's absolutely crazy. I know Pat Manning's going to play a couple of series. Marvin Harrison's in back. And you look at what Indy's going to try to do offensively. If their first-string offense scores 10 to 14 points, you're now you're up 20. I think this is a great spot to grab Indy plus the points. Tony Dungy is a man of principle. He's not just going to lay down for the Tennessee Titans. Let's not forget that Indianapolis has guys fighting for jobs for next year. Indy's going to play this game tough. They will make it very hard on Tennessee. This is still a Tennessee offense that has struggled all year long. I'm going to grab that 6.5 in a game that I think will be a field goal game, value with the home underdog.
All right, talking about a home team with something to play for, it's the Baltimore Ravens. They don't want to go into the offseason on a 10-game losing streak, yet Troy Smith will have to start. They're missing a whole bunch of guys. The Steelers come to town, their biggest rival, but Ben Roethlisberger might not go. What's going to happen?
I still think it's a great spot for Pittsburgh. You know, I've come on your show the last couple of weeks and said once Baltimore lost to the New England Patriots, I jumped on Indy over Baltimore saying the Ravens would be flat. Well, then I got tricked when I thought that Baltimore would rebound off the Indy loss, go down to Miami, and get it done. They didn't. Stover misses the field goal, the breakaway touchdown, and they give Miami their first win. Then they go up to Seattle, pull another no-show. This team is done. If I had a fork to pull out of my pocket and wave it, I would. Put a fork in them. Pittsburgh gets the win. Remember, they're trying to improve their playoff lot with San Diego, both battling there. I like Pittsburgh minus the 3.5. By the half, only lay 3.
Brandon Lang, Happy New Year, my man. We will see you next week when we talk some postseason football.
Thanks, Russ. God bless.
All right, there's Brandon Lang.